Good evening, students. Welcome back to our BSc second year electromagnetic theory class. In last lecture, we discussed about the Maxwell equations and their physical significance. Today, we are going to extend that topic and we are going to derive all Maxwell equations, or we are going to prove all Maxwell's equations in differential as well as integral form. Okay. Actually, Maxwell equations are the basic equations of electromagnetism, which are collection of Gauss law for electricity, Gauss law for magnetism, Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, and Ampere's law for current in conductors. Maxwell equations give a mathematical model for electric, optical, and radio technologies like power generation, electric motor, again, wireless communication, radar, and lenses, etc. These equations explain how magnetic and electric field are produced from charges. Basic concept of these Maxwell equations are, or it gives an idea how magnetic and electric field are produced from charges. These equations are a part of the comprehensive and symmetrical theory of electromagnetism, which is essential to understand electromagnetic wave, optics, radio, and TV transmission, as well as we can use in microwave ovens and levitation trains. Magnetically levitate trains is a concept exactly opposite to that of gravity. Okay. In today's lecture, we are going to derive a first Maxwell equations for a free space. For a free space. Actually, Maxwell was the first person to calculate the speed of propagation of electromagnetic wave, which was same as the speed of light, and came to conclusion that electromagnetic waves and visible light are similar. Means he shows that visible light is the part of electromagnetic wave. These are the set of partial differential equations that form the fundamental or the foundation of classical electrodynamics. Electric circuits, classical optics, along with a Lorentz force law. These fields highlights modern communication and electrical technologies. That's why these four Maxwell's equations are having their own importance in physics as well as in science. This Maxwell equation integral form explain how the electric charges and electric current produces magnetic and electric field. These equations describes how the electric field can create a magnetic field and vice versa. Okay. So let us start with first derivation. Today we are going to derive Maxwell's first equation. It is also known as a Gauss law for electricity. The Gauss law states that the flux passing throughout any closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the total charge enclosed by the surface. Once again, it states that the flux passing throughout any closed surface is equal to the 1 by epsilon naught times the charge enclosed by the surface, by that surface. So phi is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times q. Phi is nothing but the flux which is passing through that closed surface. Q is the charge enclosed in that surface, and 1 by epsilon naught is nothing but the permittivity of a free space. Also, that flux can be written in the form of surface integral of EdA. Surface integral of EdA. Therefore, equation 1 gives flux phi of E is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Equation 2 gives flux in terms of electric field. Surface integral of EdA. If we substitute equation 2 in equation 1, the value of phi E in equation 1, therefore equation 1 becomes surface integral of EdA is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Q by epsilon naught. Actually, it is the integral form of Maxwell's first equation. Integral form of Maxwell's first equation. Very simple. First, we are defining a Gauss law which states that a flux passing throughout any closed surface is equal to the 1 by permittivity of a free space times the total charge enclosed by the surface. That is phi of E is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Also, phi of E is equal to flux in terms of electric field can be written in the form integral EdA, surface integral of EdA, E dot dA. If we substitute the value of flux in equation 1, the equation 1 becomes surface integral of EdA is equal to E dot dA is equal to Q by epsilon naught. This is equation number 3. And this equation 3 is nothing but the integral form of Maxwell's first equation. Now, by using this integral form, we are going to derive, or we are going to convert into differential form. Okay. The value of total charge in terms of volume charge density, rho, in terms of, or charge in terms of rho. Rho is nothing but charge per unit volume. Rho is nothing but charge per unit volume, which is therefore Q is equal to rho dV, integral rho dV. If we substitute the value of Q in equation 3, therefore equation 3 becomes surface integral of E dot dA is equal to 1 by epsilon times volume integral of rho dV. The left hand term consists the surface integral and right hand term consists a volume integral. Both are different. That's why we cannot equate. Now, by using a divergence theorem to the left hand side of the equation, we can change this surface integral into the volume integral. E dot dA can be converted into the del dot E into dV. Del dot E into dV. Integral del dot E into dV is equal to 1 by epsilon times rho dV. Therefore, integration of del dot E dV is equal to 1 by epsilon times rho dV. If we move the right hand term to the left hand side, it becomes integral del dot E dV minus 1 by epsilon time integral rho dV is equal to 0. Now both are volume integral, that's why we can subtract integral del dot E minus rho by epsilon naught into dV is equal to 0. Hence the change in volume is not equal to 0, or integral dV is not equal to 0, but the overall product of del dot E minus rho by epsilon naught into dV is equal to 0. That's why the square bracket term is equal to 0. Therefore, del dot E minus rho by epsilon naught is equal to 0, or del dot E is equal to rho by epsilon naught. If we move epsilon naught to the left hand side, it gives epsilon naught E. Epsilon naught E is nothing but the D, or del dot D is equal to rho. Del dot D is equal to rho. Okay. By using a equation 3, that is integration E dot dA is equal to Q by epsilon naught, where substitute the value of Q in terms of volume charge density, which is equal to rho dV integral rho dV. The left hand term having surface integral, right hand term having volume integral. That's why we cannot subtract these two. That's why we are going to convert surface integral into the volume integral by using a Gauss divergence theorem. It gives del dot E dV minus 1 by epsilon naught rho dV is equal to 0. Now we can subtract these two. Volume integral del dot E minus rho by epsilon naught dV is equal to 0. Inner bracket is must be equal to 0. That's why total overall integration is equal to 0. It gives del dot E minus rho by epsilon naught is equal to 0, or del dot E is equal to rho by epsilon naught. This is the differential form of Maxwell's first equation. A very simple simple derivation, but this derivation or this equation having its own importance in physics. Okay. Similarly, we have to solve a second Maxwell equation, third Maxwell equation, and fourth Maxwell equation in next lecture. Okay. Thank you.